how do you get the most out of your soccer training? This is something that parents still come and ask me. The first thing that your player needs to do is to have a plan. Amount of times that players just go out to the field. Oh, coach, I went out to the field and I spent 3 hours out there. That's awesome. But what did you actually do in those 3 hours? So number one, have a plan. Have a plan to work on your game. And those great players, the players who see the most success, they have a plan for when they go out there. They don't just go out and just train willy-nilly. They go out and they say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get better at it. And they work on their skills. They have a goal for what they want to get out of that particular session. When you go in there with a goal, you have a barometer of how you can gauge you did for that day. I think there's so many players who just want to go out to the field. They'll go out and they may juggle the ball, they may pass, they may kick it around a little bit, they may do some shooting, and then they'll play. That's definitely better than not doing anything, but it's not as good as if they said, my first touch is what my coach has been on me about. So I need to find a wall that I need to go past. And I'm going to really do drills that force me to work on my first touch. So maybe I do drills that pass the ball up against the wall and I have to take a touch across and play with the opposite foot. Maybe I do another drill where I'm pass the ball against the wall. I have to open up my hips and take a touch across and pass it. Maybe I do a drill where, you can do all sorts of things. I don't want to spend all my time talking about that. Obviously, there's tons of drills out there now, either on YouTube. You can talk to your coach. I know a lot of different clubs have partnerships with different apps now. There's so many things that you can do to be able to focus on a particular skill. It's on players to have a goal and have a plan for what they can get out of their training. And the next part of that is understand how to work effectively rather than just doing more. And so there's so many players out there that will fall into the trap of, I spent this amount of time. I spent this amount of hours this week, coach. I did 10,000 juggles this week. That sounds great. That's awesome. And I'm all about people spending time with the ball. I think that's so beneficial as youth soccer players. The more time you spend with it, the better you're going to usually be. That being said, you have to be efficient. I find so many players will give the excuse of saying, well, I can't do it because I just wasn't able to spend that much time. So they won't even touch the soccer ball. I'm about, did you have 20 minutes? Did you have 20 minutes that you could spend? And usually, if they're honest, they'll say, absolutely, yeah, I had 20 minutes. Use that 20 minutes and you could get an unbelievable great workout in. Now, I'm not saying you just do 20-minute workouts and that's it, but if it's a difference between 0 and 20 minutes, go out there and do a 20-minute training session and you can get that out. One of the things I love doing with players is interval type training. So we may work for a set period of time and then have a rest. And you can do so much during that short period of time. You can really push players. And I know a lot of players don't like that, but that's what I found super effective. It harkens me back to my running days where coaches would teach me, say, okay, you only have 15 minutes to go out and run. Okay, or I want you to strive for 15, then I want you to jog for 15. And then I just want you to repeat that 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And that would kick my butt for 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh man, I just got a good workout in. And there's so many people that don't know how to apply that to soccer, where you can just work for 15 minutes, work for 20 minutes, and you're working efficiently, you're working effectively, and you're getting more out of your soccer training than, okay, well, I spent 2 hours out there, but 30 minutes I was just kind of lounging. When I was doing drills, I would kind of work, kind of focus for a little bit. And you may have gotten 30, 45 minutes of good training in, but out of 2 hours, that's not being very efficient and effective. It reminds me of what pro athletes talk about when they get older. They say, I just can't go out and spend the same amount of time when I was a younger player. I just don't have the energy. My body just doesn't respond to those types of trainings as well. As I've gotten older, I've gotten more and more effective with what I do, more and more efficient. And there's plenty of players who have kind of had to change how they've worked as they've gotten older, but they've still remained effective. You don't have to go out there and spend hours and hours and hours. You may want to. I think that's great if you want to do that. And if you have the time to do that, or if you have the focus, awesome. But be effective with your time, be efficient. And then finally, to get the most out of soccer training, gotta have fun. And I know I say this all the time, but you gotta make it fun. This is such a fun sport. This is such a fun game. It's such an enjoyable time to be able to learn this game. And this time, this period when you're younger and you have the time to be able to go out and train, you really don't get it back. You really only get to play soccer at a competitive level only for a short period of time of your life. Eventually you will have to hang up your boots. I say play for as long as you can, but eventually you will have to do that. Take the time, enjoy it, make it fun, make challenges for yourself. Enjoy the process of trying to get better. And I think there's so many people who view this as a chore. They're like, oh, I gotta do homework and I gotta go train. Those are the players who don't end up usually staying very long. But those players who see this as, man, this is so fun. Like, let me try this. Let me do this. Let me do different things with the ball. Let me find different games that I can do to be able to challenge myself. All right, what games can I do to be able to challenge maybe my friends? One of the games that we love playing at our technical training sessions is two touch. We love doing two touch. Like, it's a juggling game. It challenges, it makes players focus, it makes them really test their touch. And there's so much joy in that when there's a high level round of two-touch juggling. And it just helps loosen everybody up and have fun. And I think that's something that you have to be able to do. You gotta enjoy this game. You gotta be able to have fun, and you'll be able to get more out of your soccer training. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, comment down below. Let me know what you do to get more out of your soccer training. I'll talk to you again soon.